Hi, and welcome to Let's Bake and Cook Stuff. I'm Mary, and today I'm making stuffed bell peppers in the Instant Pot. I am first going to make some crushed tomatoes because I only need this small can, but I could only find crushed tomatoes in the big can. And these are fire roasted diced tomatoes. Use whatever diced tomatoes. If you have some fresh tomatoes, you need about 2 cups. So feel free to use that. And we're just gonna whip these up and make us some crushed tomatoes. And you don't even have to do that. If you want big chunks of tomatoes in yours, leave it. And give me that at you. Okay, you can see it's a little bit chunky, but not big giant chunks of the tomatoes in there. But again, if you like that, feel free to use the diced tomatoes. I won't be mad at you. Okay, over medium heat, 1 tablespoon of olive oil or oil of your choice. You're trying to cover that bottom, about a tablespoon. When that gets hot, we'll continue. Okay, the oil's nice and hot. I'm adding in 1 finely chopped onion, just a regular onion. Use whatever kind of onion you want. If you're going to use like green onions, you could do that. Red onion, brown onion, call a red onion a purple onion, feel free. I have 1 medium diced carrot, 1 jalapeno, seeds and all. All I did was chop it. Some kind of stirring stick. That jalapeno is optional. If you don't want to put that in there, don't. But also in my original recipe of stuffed bell peppers that I do in the oven, not in the Instant Pot, I use red pepper flake. So feel free to put some red pepper flake in there too if you want that little bit of a kick, but also leave it out if you don't like spicy stuff. I'm going to add some salt. Oh, pepper first. They look the same. Now some salt. Okay, we're going to cook and stir these for about 5 minutes until the veggies get nice and soft. And then we'll be back. Now my recipe that I normally make, it makes 6 stuffed bell peppers. My Instant Pot only holds 4. So there's going to be some leftover, and it's actually good just by itself, or you can make 2 more in your Instant Pot after you're done making these. I'm just cutting the tops off of these, and I'm just cutting the tops off because we're going to stuff them, right? And you know what I normally do, that I forgot to do because I was just getting ready for this video, is I normally will chop up these tops and just take the stem out and chop up these tops and put it in there too. You can use green bell peppers. I'm using these because this is what I got at my store, but you can use any color bell peppers you want. And when I first started making bell peppers, I don't even remember there being other colors. I'm sure there were, but I don't remember them. I used to only use green. So just chop those up in little chunks and toss them in there, or don't. You could actually use these for a veggie tray. Save them in a plastic bag and use them for some vegetable soup. I do that a lot too, but I'm just kicking up my bell pepper flavor in here by adding these tops. Now, what I also like to do, you have to take the insides out, right? You're going to take that membrane out and that the seeds. So you're going to take all that, that's all those seeds, right? Look at that. You could plant some bell peppers plants with that. And then you're going to take these seeds out, and I am going to rinse them out, and then I'm going to par cook them too, because I want them a little softer. But if you like them nice and crispy, then you wouldn't do this. You're gonna skip this step. If you saw my rice cooking video, I cooked the rice in the microwave, and this is the container I use. But again, you don't need this specific container. It just needs to be like a 3-quart container that has a lid, but it can't be a tight fitting lid. It has to just be like a loose fitting lid. Makes sense. Great. Okay, now I'm going to put about a tablespoon of water on the bottom. I'm going to salt these, and I'm going to cook them on high for 5 minutes. If you want them even softer, cook them longer. They are going to get softened a little bit in the Instant Pot. These are coming along nicely. Okay, this is going to go in the microwave for 5 minutes while those are cooking. Now I'm going to add garlic. This is about a tablespoon of garlic, so that's probably about 3 heads, depending on 3 cloves, depending on how big your cloves are. And you usually add those later in the process because you don't want your garlic to burn, and when it's cut so small, it burns more easily. Well, these still need another minute or 2 to soften, and then we'll be back. I meant to also mention that with regard to seasonings, I put salt and pepper, and I actually just snuck in a little bit of celery salt while you weren't here. Put whatever seasonings you want in there, whatever you like. If you like some rosemary and you want to put some other herbs in there, some basil, some parsley, feel free. Taco seasoning, you want to do that. You know, it's whatever you like. These have softened up nicely. Now I'm going to add the tomatoes that we crushed. Oops, you don't want that in there. 1 cup of frozen corn, 2 cups of brown rice, but use whatever kind of rice you want. If you have some leftover rice from a Chinese restaurant or something, feel free. Tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. This is vegan Worcestershire sauce, but if you're not vegetarian, feel free to use regular. And this is 1 can of black beans that I rinsed and drained. I'm trying to remember if I rinsed them. I did. Okay, now I'm going to add, I have about a cup of cheese here. I'm going to add a little more than half of it to this mixture and melt that in there. And we're going to save the rest for the top. I love, 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 love these any time of year. But I love bell peppers cooked in the Instant Pot because then you don't have to heat up your oven. So if it's summertime, you don't have to heat up your oven. These can be done in the oven. You just put them in the oven for about 30 minutes. Do the same exact same thing we're going to do here, but put them in a 9 by 13 pan or whatever they'll fit in, because we are doing 4, but you can do 6. It's going to be enough stuffing for 6. Then you can, you know, make all 6 of them in your 9 by 13 pan. Okay. This is done as it's going to get. I'm spraying the inside of the pot with some olive oil spray, and that's just to help keep it from sticking. You do need your rack in here for this. Yeah, these bell peppers are nice and soft. They're pretty hot too, but they're still like crispy, but they're going to soften up in the Instant Pot. So if you do like them nice and crispy, crunchy, then by all means skip this step. Okay, now I'm just going to take the peppers and fill them up. I think I'm just going to leave them in here because they're hot. And you can stuff them all the way. You can see those jalapenos in there. Okay, see, it's nicely stuffed. Stick them in here around the edges. I kind of want to show you how I'm filling them, so I'm going to use this paper towel to hold it. It's really hot. So weird, just came out of the microwave. And these are pretty good sized bell peppers too. Now I'm placing the cheese on top of the bell peppers, the stuffing. Make sure your steam release is closed. Then we're going to put this on for 8 minutes on high. I don't know if you have an Instant Pot, but the 8 minutes is sort of a misnomer. It's going to actually pressure cook for 8 minutes, but it has to build up pressure first, and that can take 10 minutes. So it's not going to be 8 minutes. So you need to make sure that when you're timing it, if you have a specific time when you're serving your dinner and you want it to be ready, then it's not going to be 8 minutes. It can take 5 to 8 minutes. I mean, 5 to 10 minutes to get up to that pressure. And so that's when the 8 minutes starts. Okay, so it could be 13 to 18 minutes before these actually get cooked. Just saying. And then you got to let it release. Do not ever try and not do the release, because I'm not even sure. I think these are safety so that you can't release it if there's too much pressure, because it'll splatter. The old timey ones like my mom had, they will just splatter all over your kitchen. But this one, I think it's got a safety thing on it, but don't try it just in case. But yeah, we're gonna let the pressure release by itself, and then we're gonna release some pressure again, and then we're gonna eat some bell peppers. Sorry about that. It's super important that you add liquid. That's like one of the most, besides not opening it while it's under pressure, adding liquid is like one of the most important things. Anyway, I forgot. It told me though, I'm excited because it said, your food's gonna burn if you don't add some water, dopey old lady. Anyway, we're okay now. We'll see you back here as soon as these are done. Okay, it just beeped and it's telling me, hey, the pressure cooking is done, because you said to do it for 8 minutes, and it did it for 8 minutes. And so now this timer is gonna go about 10 minutes. And once that says 10 minutes, then we're gonna take these out and eat them. Come back. It's time. Now this is a whole meal in itself. I usually will serve it with a green salad, just, you know, some lettuce and tomato and a little bit of onion or celery, something in there. But this is a meal in itself. It has everything in it. It has your veggies, has your protein, has your starch. You don't have to do that. Let me slice it in half. You can see what it looks like inside. Okay, I'm gonna slice it. This is how I usually eat it. Take that half there and that half there, and then it's time to eat bell peppers for dinner. I'm so serious right now. Well, that was worth it. That was delicious. Also, another way you can do this, just chop it up and eat it like that. When my kids were little, they loved the stuffing, but they didn't eat the bell pepper, so they would just eat the stuffing out of the bell pepper. You do how you like it. I'm so happy to have you here. I can't thank you enough for watching this video. If you try this, let me know. If you have a different recipe you'd like to see, please put it in the comments section. I would love to hear from you. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing that. I'll see you next time. You take care now.